So my favorite piece of Garfield, anything ever, is also something I haven't watched in full since it aired, because I personally find it to be hard. Garfield, His Nine Lives was a book written by Jim Davis in 1984 and later turned into a primetime special in 1988. It's on DVD, it's on Peacock, you can find it pretty easily nowadays. It's basically Garfield presenting 9 different short cartoons done by different directors, using different styles of animation, showcasing his 9 lives. It was a very cool concept. There's one where Garfield is like an escaped lab cat, and it kind of has like a Don Bluth feel to it. It's pretty cool. But what we're talking about specifically is Garfield's 6th life, entitled Diana's Piano.
6 must be my lucky number, because that's the life I fell in love with music. I also fell in love with a girl who played the piano just for me.
In Diana's Piano, we watch as a young girl named Sarah gets a kitten for her birthday, the same year she receives a piano. She names the kitten Diana, and Diana loves when Sarah plays piano for her, and we watch the two begin a great and long friendship.
Those were happy days. I remember the sunshine, soft summer breezes, and the fun Diana and I had. It seemed as though Diana had been part of my life forever. I had even promised Diana we would never, ever part.
Okay, so obviously we both know right away that this is not going to end well. But in 1988, when I was watching this at like 8 years old, I didn't know that. This was a Garfield special. There was no reason in the world for me to think it was going to go there. People always talk about how kids growing up in the 80s were made tougher by the media they watched. And yeah, spoilers, this is a great example of that. Sarah and Diana grow up together, and eventually Sarah goes off to college and comes back announcing she's getting married, and she's taking Diana and the piano with her. There's this wonderful symmetry where when Diana is a kitten, Sarah has to help her up on the piano. And when she's older, Sarah once again has to help Diana up on the piano. So I'm just going to cut to the chase and play this part in whole because it's just so damn powerful.
When I finished, Diana didn't want to leave the piano. Good night, Diana. Sometime during the night, Diana managed to get down onto the keyboard. She lay down, put her face on her folded paws, and quietly passed away. It was Diana's testament to her love for my music.
It wasn't long after this special aired that we got a cat, my first cat ever. And it really primed the pump to make me a cat person for life. If you've ever loved and lost a cat, you know you don't choose them, they choose you. And that's very much what Diana's Piano is all about. There's also this beautiful moment where Sarah's new cat doesn't show any interest in the piano. And Sarah says,
"Would you like me to play something for you, Patches?" "It's just as well."
It's just not possible sometimes to recreate the love that you shared with something else. In this case, Diana and the piano. And Sarah realizes that with her new cat. She loves her new cat, but in a different way. And that can be just as beautiful. It's a very powerful lesson and something I really took from this now that, of course, I wouldn't have been able to when I was 8. Just to be completely upfront in making this video and revisiting this special, I had to watch this full 6-minute cartoon in increments. I lost all 3 of my cats a few years ago. And as hard as it was to watch this special at 8, it's even harder now. Loss is a form of wisdom. And you only get that with time. I think it's wonderful that the same franchise that brought you Binky the Clown or Grandma's Speech in a Garfield Christmas can also bring you Diana's Piano. I just think that's amazing. Sometimes they really got to throw some curveballs into these things to keep you on your toes. And I think that really helps in making you a feeling person, especially when you see this stuff when you're a kid. You'll just never forget it. And I have never or will never forget Diana's piano. Thank you, Garfield, and thank you, Jim Davis.